Numbers 30. This one is very important. Why is it important? Not that other scriptures are not important, but this one is so important that we need to be careful. Wives also need to be careful. We need to be careful, but some of us overdo things. All in the name of, they said you should honor your wife, you should do this and so on and so forth. You should keep quiet. You will not want to talk. This and that. Whenever, even if you see wrong, you say, let God correct her. I don't want to talk now. It's more than they will say, I did this and that. You will still see that God will still come against you. Simple. Numbers chapter 30. Husbands, take note. Very, very important scripture. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, this is the thing which the Lord had commanded. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeded out of his mouth. If a woman vow a vow, also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth. Now, I need you women to see this thing. God is not playing games. Even when you are still in your father's house unmarried, look at what he said. And her father hear her vow, and her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she had bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her. Then all her vows shall stand, when every bond wherewith she had bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth not any of her vows or her bonds, wherewith she had bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her. Now, watch. If she had at all an husband, when she vowed or uttered oath out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he had it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her. But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, well, we don't talk about divorce in New Testament. So let me not talk about it. Wherewith she had bound their souls shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband had it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband had utterly made them void on the day he had them, then whatsoever proceeded out of her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand. Her husband had made them void, and the Lord shall forgive her. Every vow and every binding oath afflict the soul. Her husband may establish it, or he may make it void. But if her husband altogether, very important, altogether hold his peace at her from day to day, then he establisheth all her vows and all her bonds which are upon her. He confirmed them, because he held his peace at her in the day that he had them. But if he shall anyways make them void after that he had them, then he shall bear her iniquity. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being in her youth, in her father's house. I think you see it. It didn't say the law, it didn't say the statutes or the commandments God gave to the children of Israel about their husband and their wife. He said between a man, whether you are from Afghanistan, whether you are from Pakistan, whether you are from Nigeria, whether you are from Russia, whether you are from America, whether you are from anywhere. He said it is a statute and a commandment God gave between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house. Let me now break it down. What does it mean? The same way the woman takes charge of the family spiritually, that is God, the way God has already placed the woman, the man, to take charge of the wife. In essence, if you want to do something and you speak it, I'm going to do this, I'm going to start this business, I'm going to go to such and so place, the husband said no, that is it. If he says no, you go ahead and do it. Let me tell you something, you will suffer loss. If it is a journey you want to go and he said, don't go there, if you try it, you may have accident and die. That's the power God gave men. So you women will not go and start saying, I know how to deal with the man. No, you cannot. It's the power he gave the men. He has the right to establish and to nullify whatever thing you want to say or do. The same way you have that power to report him, that is the same way. You see, God is not a God of confusion. That is the way he has the power. So physically he has that power. Spiritually you have it. But physically, he has the power to stop you. The most important thing, another one that he says, is that even a young girl, a young lady who is not married and she's still in her father's house, and she wants to do something, the father said, no, God has already taken charge. If you insist and you go and do it, and the man goes down the same way on his knees and say, Lord, I told my wife, don't do this, and she's insisting to do it. You are the testator in this marriage. Correct her by yourself. You are done for. Wives, take note. You are done for. Because if you go ahead and do it, God will deal with you. But if the man said, you see, I don't want trouble, let her do whatever she wants to do. You are the slacker husband. You are the one God will hold responsible. You know why? You are establishing the woman's authority every time. And there will be a time that her power will be greater than your own. When you say something, it will not stand anymore. So no matter, even if you are in a sick bed, and there are things the woman wants to do, your wife, and you already know it's not right, and you tell her, my dear, please don't do this. You say, no, what do you know? I'm going to do it. Because you have spoken, God will honor your word. You know, there are so many stubborn women, wives. They will say, look at this one. What does he contribute? You go ahead and do it. If he goes ahead and does that thing, he's in trouble. God, not man, will move, allow the messenger, the cruel message. Let me show you. Because you see, when we talk about this thing, some of us, we say, just put in anything anyhow. Look at Proverbs chapter 29. Let me just read verse 1. But what I'm looking for, I will say it now, and then we will find out where it is later in the scripture. It is somewhere in the same area. It says, he that being often reproved, hardeneth his neck, shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. And that without what? Remedy. So if your husband is correcting you, telling you, do this, don't go this way, it is wrong. You said no, because maybe you think you know it, or because maybe we have taught you, or some of us have taught you that you are the one that is in authority spiritually, therefore you can do whatever you like. If you go on and do it, once the man has said, don't do this, you go on and do it, God will send a cruel messenger to you. Simple. So he balances it. He balances it so that nobody will come out and say that God, people used to say it's a man's word. It's a lie. I said it's not a man's word. It's the woman's word, because everything boils down to the woman. It is still the woman that has the power to change everything